I'm delighted to welcome you all here to the Advanced Network. My name is Surya Turner, and I'm Director of Kuumba Youth Music. For those of you who don't know, Kuumba works with young people. We work with about 50 young string players across London. We welcome all young musicians, but we have a special focus on working with African, Caribbean, Asian, minority ethnic young people and their families. So Kuumba's leading this network alongside Royal Academy of Music and Tomorrow's Warriors. I thought I'd say a little bit about how this all came into being, because the process was quite an organic one, really. And it probably had its roots around 3 to 4 years ago, when the South Bank Centre held a series of symposiums when about El Sistema, and Christina Budinska from the Royal Academy was there. And she was very inspired, and she decided to hold her own forum at the Royal Academy, which I attended. And there were about 13 people at this forum, so it was quite an intimate gathering. But there was a real sense when we were talking that we could all individually and collectively make a difference, just in terms of widening participation, which was the theme really then. So there were many connections that were made at this gathering, and including one between myself and Christina. And she came along to see the work that Kuumba were doing, liked what she saw, and we then began a formal partnership with the Royal Academy. Around the same time, I was introduced to Gary Crosby from Tomorrow's Warriors, and I went along to see their work at the South Bank, and we had an afternoon just chatting and a real meeting of minds, and very soon after we started a musical collaboration with them. So our three organisations have been enjoying these collaborations since, and if you saw some of the pictures at some of our events that we've done together. Kuumba then held its own forum at the Royal Academy last year, which specifically focused on diversity in classical music, and we had a panel of speakers then. There's a real mixed audience, as I think there is a mixed audience here today, and including that audience of many educators and parents. And often it was the first time often that there seemed to be that parents and educators were in the same room having interesting discussions and open and honest discussions about what their experiences were. But again, there was a sense after that meeting that this was an opportune time to actually take some action, really, to change what the feeling was around a status quo. So when Youth Music launched their new module, their new networking module, we thought it was the right context, a very positive context, for us to continue this network and expand it to include more and more people. So what we're hoping to do, there'll be 3 live events that take place. Running alongside these live events, there'll be a small piece of research and online activities too, we hope. And we've titled the programme Access All Areas, as we recognise there's been some strides taken in terms of widening participation generally, but we still see a significant lack of representation beyond initial access. Basically, the network is really there to kind of understand the barriers that BME communities face in accessing music and in developing excellence. So we hope for the conversations, the connections that are made, the research and the speakers. We hope to kind of ask ourselves some insightful questions that will unlock the doors. And we've titled this event Finding the Keys, because when one is looking for one's keys, which I do often you have to retrace your steps. It's okay, what was the last lot of things that happened? And also survey the whole scene, have a good look around. So Beverly will be helping us to start that process today in her presentation by mapping the landscape. Then the main focus of our event really today is our fantastic panel, really representing different voices and perspectives. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what they've got to say.